Are you gonna distribute this recording to us later?
No, keep it for myself. Okay, just kidding. Yes.
3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
All right. So first, the question. I get the reason why you guys are playing Pharah, but I just want to know what the plan was with the Pharah like at the beginning, like because usually you run like Tracer with this or Genji, and he covers the flanks. Um, but like what was the main plan with running the Pharah here? If one of you knows
Better
the
choke,
answer.
better choke presence,
Hmm.
more damage overall.
Yeah. So like usually when you run like the tracer, like you want to look to like um dive on like certain or rush onto certain like choke points. So like the tracer would go around the right side and the Ramatra and the supports would come up here. Maybe and like Lucio and Soj would be on their own, like either on this side or this side, just kind of um like if the enemy team went on the right, they'd be on the left to be able to see them through here, opposite sides as well. But since you're in the Pharah, I mean, it makes sense to me when I watched it at first, where like you don't really want to rush onto them, but you do want to just like completely like hold down a choke. Especially this is good against the ball because like once the ball comes in, like then it just creates like you're in between him and his team, so that's when you really want to like push down on a choke hard. Um, you usually want your tank and your flex or main support, whoever has the most healing. So did Juno or Kiriko, depending on who you're playing. They want to stick together up at the choke and sort of just block the other supports from walking in. If they walk right, you go over there. And then you have your Lucio and your Sojourn in a place to where they can touch point if they need, or they still have a good angle on the back line. And then Farah is just kind of doing her own thing. Basically, with the Tracer, not much help needed for her because she's playing so far back, so safe. Right away, I think the communication. I mean, you still get a pick here, but the communication, or at least the like, your tank and your Juno are not on the same page, obviously, because you're not shooting the same thing. You're not in the same area, so like it's putting a lot more pressure on Ramatra to use his abilities early, and then once that happens, he has a poor cooldown, and then if they survive this from him, basically because they're running ball, they have like a lot of sustain. Like he's gonna be able to just boop him away. They're going to be able to back out. He gets booped. He gets slept. Once it's over, then now they have this ball dive to go on your back line. So like you need a little bit more pressure with the Ram to be able to at least force all these abilities out or take a sport out because he's gonna lose this 2v1 or basically 3v1 because the ball's here. He doesn't really matter, but he's gonna lose this 2v1. Like we need at least one other person with him, and you do get a lucky pick on the Soj because she didn't get any healing, but um a lot of times, like if they see the tank is by himself, they'll sort of like back out and just let the Sojourn kind of shoot him for a little bit. And then as soon as he hits a rail, then they go in hard with abilities. So like you kind of caught lucky whether your tank didn't get caught out.
The objective is now active.
Nice. He kind of feeds. Farah goes for the contest. I would say probably want Lucio Soj to go for the contest and have Farah continue to help with the front line here. Lucio goes to help. Nice. Yeah. It's hard for Farah to beat ball in that kind of matchup. See again, I just feel like the tank is doing pretty good here. He's pressuring, but I don't see Juno kind of reacting to that. Like she's really focused on the ball and not so much on staying with her tank. And it just like he's just I mean I know he gets antied here, but he's getting so much pressure on him. Like there's nothing to help him, so he has to back out. Kind of a miracle that he survives. Nice. I mean, if we go to this side, you're still getting picks, but like once again, like really, really, really lucky that like Juno doesn't get caught out here. Like basically just by the skin of her teeth gets that mega. Ram's low again. Get help. So you're winning this by the skin of your teeth, basically. When you could be doing a little bit more of staying together and focusing on chokes and pushing out the supports rather than just kind of like surviving the ball in the back line and letting the Ram just walk on the supports, because that's not really going to work every single time.
Area denied.
Let's go back here. Yeah, like we just need to see. There needs to be more committal from the entire team. Like we don't have to sit on point, because if we sit on point, we're allowing the ball to go behind us. I know we're not going to do anything about him, but since he's behind us, the supports and the Sojourn can go up top or they can go around. Supports can set up in a place right here, and we're just letting them kind of set up to where then ball can come in on a slam on the supports here, and then they have like Tracer right here. They have Soj shooting right here. If we're holding up right here at all times, like we're just sitting in their face, the break can't walk in. If the ball touches point, I mean, yeah, maybe he gets the point, or maybe Lucio and Soj keep him away, and then we speed into their backline with the Juno speed thing and kill their supports before the ball can even do anything. But we're letting the ball push us back. We have both we have Juno and Soj on point. Ram actually does the right thing here, and Lucio does too. But it should be Juno and Ram, and maybe even Soj at this point. I know Far is playing a little bit far. You might be able to come up a little bit more, but I think the Juno and the Ram at this point so far just need to be a little bit more on the same page.
Who's ready to take some punishment?
Suffer as
Allah till me.
Stuck out of here. Okay. Little poor shield. When you want to use shield to like, I mean, this is pretty obvious, but like you want to use your shield to set up in a location to where you can like hold a lot of space. Like when you think about this, like you're going to be walking out of here almost immediately. So there's no reason to even shield here, because I'm just like literally as soon as he shields, he just walks in front of it and then it's useless. So like if I want to set up and take point, I want to shield here to allow my team to walk into point. I want to, if they're playing over here, I want to set up my shield here so we can push them. But nobody gets anything out of this shield. And that's one ability already wasted. And now, oh, he just uses everything. Okay. So for Ram specifically, if I want to go for a play here on this Sojourn, I know she doesn't have slide, but I can't just drop all my abilities, especially since I don't have shield. I'm walking up and I just immediately using my Nemesis, which is almost at all times, maybe 50% at least, a defensive ability where you kind of want to use it after you reach half health, and then you can push in with it, because you want to like waste abilities with Ram. You want to go slow and waste abilities at the choke, and then once you see that come out, that's when you Nemesis in. So if you Nemesis immediately, he's going to try to push this Soj, and now he's going to be like right here in between basically everyone in his team. The Annas can shoot at him, the Brig can hit him, the Sojourn's over here, the ball is pushing his team away, he's by himself, and there's nothing that he can really do. And he gets literally just booped away immediately, and now he's forced to go to point with no abilities. He's separated from his team. Get a good pick on this Tracer. Let's see what we can do with that. Yeah, he gets taken out. Jonathan Klusenek doesn't leave the fucking ability and dies. And we end up losing this fight. So instead here, like what you want to see is one of two things. You either want to play for point, so commit to point, because they already have it, or commit to pushing out the supports. So like that could be, if I'm committing to point, I'm shielding here, we're speeding around the corner to point. If ball contests, like whatever, he's not going to kill anybody. We just push him out. If supports come up, then we can kind of walk up and do that while Lucio and Soj are still on point taking it. Or if we feel like we can commit to the supports, like say if they're up here or something, if we can commit to them, I'm shielding in front of them or behind them. We're using our Juno speed and we're going right into them, and we're trying to kill them as quick as possible so Ball can't catch us off guard and go for a slam. That's basically the two things here. But instead, we wait. Ramacha walks in, the team doesn't, and we're split. And Juno gets taken down by Tracer Ball. When we could have, set up on point together and been able to take this. Because Brig walks up immediately, so maybe we could have killed her. Oh wow, how do you actually win this fight? What the fuck? I didn't get this far. Okay, you take out that.
This ends now.
Assume we use both support ults. I think I saw the other one.
Satellite vector.
Yeah, okay.
Dodge this.
So we end up winning that, but we had to commit both support ultimates when we probably didn't have to. We could have probably used one of them, or maybe even none of them, if we went to take point. But hey, I mean, you guys are just better. Okay, Ball and Tracer trying to set up right. Yeah, like once again, like I just don't. This isn't like really makes sense for the team to be playing like this. Like if Ramacha wants to walk in, like Juno has to be with him. Lucio could even be with him as well, but the Juno has to be with him at all times because now he could have easily like prolonged that fight for way longer if he had his Juno with him healing him. Now we're separated by mines. Waste Nemesis trying to kill the mines and then died.
This ends now. Overtime.
So like just to like go over this real quick. Like once again, they're on the right side here. They're taking this right side. Like we talked about before, we have Farah shooting at their back at that choke. We have Ram diagnosing that they're right here. He walks up. Juno's maybe at this lion. I think Johnny could probably be closer to here. So he just has to slide out that way. He can basically just hide around the corner if he needs to save his slide. Lucio is maybe just wall riding around here. Maybe he's up here. That's a good spot. And Farah is in the back line. You're in a good spot, just shooting into that choke. And there's basically nothing they can do. If ball comes to the open, you commit to the back line and go for the supports. And by the time he reacts, I mean, basically they've wasted all their abilities or someone's dead. And, you still have both DPS ults to use. You could use, you could go around and go for a barrage, or you could go fast with Soj ult. But we kind of do two different things where we play far back and up. And then Ram gets antied and uses his Nemesis, and now he's forced to back, half health, and now they just have taken the entire, outside of point, and then the mines kind of clean everybody up. Okay, Tracer swap, okay. All right, so we have Ram ults. The only our only choice here is to commit hard to point and Ram ult and push them off, or go for a kill here. So, like, we know that they're all on point by scouting. Maybe Tracer scouting. Maybe Lucio or somebody saw before that they're on point. I don't need to use shield here because there's no one there to shield. So instead, we're together. We're pushing around here. Tracer can go around like you are. I shield here. Or into point to get onto point. Then what happens, we use speed, we use Ram ult, we go for their supports, We killed their supports. Anna and Brig cannot run away from a Ram ult. We ignore ball. If he comes in, he's not going to be able to do anything by the time we're already in point with Ram ult. We either take point or we kill their supports and then take point, and because they have no support ults, or they have Nano, but that's not really going to do anything against Ram ult. So we have to go for Brig first, kill Brig, but instead here, I mean, Ram has a good idea, but we're waiting. Ball's setting up. Now he's in our back line. Now, Ball, Tracer are on our supports in DPS with, there was basically nothing they really had to do but just walk into our back line. I mean, Ram walked in without making sure the supports were good, and now we're fighting a 2v3 and a 3v2 supports against tank and DPS, and we're not on the same page. Johnny gets taken out because of it. And we get to point, but once we get to point, there's nothing we could have done. There's no plan, because we're having to rush to point. We're having to use our slide, everything to get to point, and then there's no way for us to win there. Any questions so far? Anything? Any comments, concerns, criticisms?
0.
I thought we won that round. I guess we win the next one.
I don't remember,
For battle.
but
I think
could have
we
won that
lose
round.
both. I
Could have
think
won
we
that
lose
round.
both.
well, don't you play all three? So,
Oh,
Um,
okay.
What?
Then we do win this, I guess.
Huh.
well,
I thought
is this
was
is this a
only the
match
last-
or a scrim?
This is a match.
This
Okay,
is
yeah. So I'm
basically-
pretty sure you play all three. So, let me see. Yeah, you do. You win that one.
Ready for battle. 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Oh, no, survived, Juno. Okay, nice. So similar thing here, like if we know they're gonna play ball, our I know it's kind of unfortunate that you got TP'd out, but usually Tracer would look for the scouting and see where they go. But either way, this is fine. You speed around this corner here. You look for where they are. If they're not right here right away, then they're not this way. It's like they should get here at relatively the same time as you. So once that happens, we're looking for a choke to hold. We're not worrying about ball. There's really nothing we can really do against him. I'd say the only person that really would want to look at him is either Brig or Tracer, just to push him out. And then once he's gone, we're focused back on the front line. If he comes in again, we can maybe push him out a little bit, but we're not really going to be trying to shoot ball. He's going to get away. He's going to waste time. He's going to make room for his sports to come in basically by all the time he's wasting. So we rock on this corner. He's out. Okay, I'm looking. There's no supports walking up. Here's Tracer. There's no supports. So let's go point and hold a choke. Or I think up here, Ram does a good job at least checking because there was no scouting. So he looks to hold the choke. Nobody's there. Okay, now we're just all going point. Every single person, except for maybe Tracer. But every single person is going point. We're holding this front choke. We're not looking at ball.
Your miscalculations will cost you everything.
He's using his abilities really quickly, but this is a good idea. Just trying to he has the right idea. Getting to the choke, and I would have shielded up to the front here so you can get up all the way without getting shot at all. But he has the right idea.
Calculations will cost you everything.
The objective is
Now we're not on the same target. Like everyone's shooting the ball, everyone's shooting the Tracer. Supports are free reign. Now we look at sports, but we're getting pinched here, close to getting pinched. We're still looking at the ball, not looking at the same thing. Johnny, don't look at the Tracer. You shouldn't try to fight the Tracer. You should help the Ram. Let our Tracer deal with Tracer.
Now do you see your error?
We're doing a lot of living when we could be doing a lot of killing. That's what it is, really. We're living a lot because we have good supports and we have good sustain. But I mean, he has nano when he could have just died. They're gonna have both support ults here.
We will take everything from you.
I don't know why they nanoed him, but interesting.
Area denial. Allah till men.
This ends now.
Oh,
Till men.
how the heck did that happen?
Allah till men.
This ends now.
Okay.
Allah till men.
Suffer as I have.
Committing ults here.
Denied. Put them in the ground.
We're doing a lot of living, so this is at least good. I mean, we're not dying immediately, so I don't know if that's an attestment to your guys' ability to stay alive or if they're just not hitting as well, but you guys are doing a good job at staying alive.
This ends
Looking
now.
solid.
I will tear. Put them in the ground.
Yeah, that's really... With the tank here, with using Nemesis right away, it's just hard. Like, now he's got nothing. Now he's going to get forced back to point. Oh, no.
Calculations will cost you everything.
Oof. Yeah, we just need... Is Juno even in the fight yet?
Calculations will cost you everything.
Area denial.
Yeah, I just... Like, I don't know. I'm not really sure what Juno is looking at here, but we just need to, like, be a little bit more together, because this could have been an easy win. Nobody's helping the tank. We're all focused on the ball tracer. Okay, I like this going right here.
Not so fast.
They have both support ults. We're coming up on Ram. Not focused on the ball. Should be walking up. Just get away from him. Don't, like... Yep, slide into point if you have to. Just get away from him.
Barrier down.
And we take a little bit too long here. Like, I'm just walking up with Ram. I'm not focused on him. As soon as I hit that, or go for this, I'm walking away. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to be able to kill him. There's no reason for me to fight him. I'm just walking right back to point. John, you were able to go, and you came back. And now you're separated from your team. Now this is a hit. This is a free hit for the ball tracer. Juno comes back to try to help you, and now the Ram is in their backline without the Juno. We're all looking at the ball. And having to put all the resources into it, and they get a hit off, and they get a kill. And then the tank's dead because he's not getting any healing. So just committing to one thing. Like, we need to commit to the rotation. I see that a lot in the first point where, like, you guys would go in and then hide by that mega, and then you'd get hit by ball, and Ram would go in by himself, and then you'd be split. Same thing a little bit here, where we're kind of not really committing to the rotation. I like this going here again. Coming up on 2 ults, almost 3. They have 4 as well.
My good soldier ult is coming up.
Oh, is it really good or is it trash?
You'll
I bet
see.
it's trash. Okay, I bet it's trash. Oh no. Okay, so Tracer has now marked ball. So Tracer has ball in her sights. She's shooting at him. That we don't need to worry about ball anymore now. Ball is being marked by Tracer. We use our Juno speed thing into the point. We set up shield. We look for a support to go on, or we look to force whatever the fuck it is, slide with our E ability, our Ram E ability, and then we go in with we usually would play Lucio, but maybe not Lucio speed, but just go in and hold point here and not worry about the ball. We have him marked. He's marked. Okay, Ram walks in, but we're not walking in. We're staying. Now ball hits you. Now separates Sojourn. She's dead, I assume. I don't know how the fuck you're still alive, but okay, now you're dead. You still end up killing both supports, which is insane.
Special delivery. Allah till men.
This ends now.
Great, he's just AD spamming you. You got this, Johnny. Oh, you get shit on. Oh, I don't know if it's the ball or if it's you guys, but their comp or your comp, but you guys do a hell of a lot of surviving despite the circumstances.
Ready for battle.
I think this next point's the one we struggled on most.
So like, biggest things so far: staying together in rotations. Juno focusing on help on Ram.
4, 3, 2, 1.
That's basically it
Round 3.
so far. That's the two biggest things I've seen. They're on okay. They're on Mauga. This is a different approach now. Oh, we waste Nemesis again really early. Now it's over, and now Mauga just has full health and E on you.
The objective is now active.
Yeah, we basically just do a whole lot of nothing there. Okay. So, we're walking up. As soon as we see they are running Mauga, there's one thing that this Ram wants to do, and that is to keep him from being able to shoot him the whole time, as much as he can. So if I'm Ram, I'm walking up and I'm shielding right here, and I'm immediately E-ing the supports and trying to kill the supports. I'm not looking at Mauga. There's no reason to shoot him. I'm not going to be able to do any damage to him. The only thing I can do is shield my backline and allow them to shoot the supports as quickly as possible without the Mauga being able to E them, use his cardiac on them. So I'm walking up. I'm not using my Nemesis yet because I need to use it to survive, especially against Mauga. I need to use it to survive because block is super, super, super crucial, especially when Mauga uses his cardiac. So I'm walking up and I'm shielding this. I'm trying to headshot the Ana. I'm trying to headshot the Genji or the Brig. If Mauga commits with his left shift into the backline, now I Nemesis. And I walk into their backline because I need to go for a trade because I'm assuming that he's going to separate my supports from me and they have to deal with him. And I need to make sure that I'm trading as much as possible, or if I'm backing up as quickly as possible. But I can't because I'm so far up. So I need to trade. I need to go in for trades. I need to go make them back up so he's by himself. Either they stay here and I'm getting a bunch of damage on their supports, or they back up and Mauga has no support and then your team can basically just 4v1 him. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to either shield and force his supports back, or if he commits, then I go for trade. Nice, we're doing good. All right, now we're set up. Now he's backed. He's used his cardiac. We're focused on living. We're focused on, if I'm getting low, I Nemesis and block. And we're focused on killing the supports by setting, we have Tracer and Sojourn. So looking for rails on their supports, looking for a flank right on the supports, because Mauga's not dying here yet, at least. So we Nemesis. We're set up here. So now we're in a bad spot, but we can't back up. We have to commit to this, to holding this. I should have shield soon. I know I'm doing just Ramacha, but this is very key. All right, I have shield soon, and I have E soon, so I have to just set back up. I have to set back up. If the DPS are going point, my DPS have to mirror that. I'm focused on setting up to make sure that Mauga cannot go into my team, and I'm focused on keeping the supports back as much as possible. We're backing up for no reason here, and we're giving them so much space. And now we shield at here, so there's no way for me to keep up. And I'm just giving the Mauga free reign to walk in here.
The objective is now
And now we're forced to back together as 5. And we give up point for free. Another poor shield because we're not really shielding anything because we're not committing. So if I just shield here and just shoot the Mauga, I'm not doing anything. I'm getting no value out of my shield because I'm just basically shooting someone that's going to be constantly full health and not taking damage from here, but I'm not committing. So once it's over, I'm still in the same spot and I'm still vulnerable to poke. Let's watch Famas on this this off angle here. Feel free to commit a little bit more. I know you don't have your recall in 1. I wouldn't be looking at him. I think this is I think you're right to commit, but I want to commit here. I want to commit here. And then as soon as I see something come out, I want to recall. I want to force abilities on their supports as much as I can. Shooting Mauga isn't going to do anything. I might charge a little bit of my pulse bomb, but my main focus here is to keep the supports away from Mauga to allow my Ram to walk in on him and keep him away from our supports. That's what it is. It's sort of like a duality thing here. So I need to go, if I'm going all the way around, if I'm going here, I'm committing, or I'm committing to their Soj, I'm committing to their Ana, I'm trying to force something, and then I can recall out. Because I have recall, I have 3 brings to recall, I can go for a little bit of a commit here. If I die, whatever, you died, but you went for the commit. You went to try to, make a play for your team. So at least, you're pushing yourself to your limit there with being able to,
Enemies there.
Nice, I like this. I mean, at this point, you can't really do anything, and this is not on your fault because no one's coming in. So you're doing your job here of making the brig turn, doing some poke damage to the Ana. You're not going to just one clipper, but you're doing enough damage to the Ana to force Brig's hand to heal her or Brig to turn around and help you. Like, that's when we should be seeing some committal from the team, especially if we're running Ram. I mean, if we want to poke the whole time, we should just run Sigma. Ram is a hybrid where he pokes first to get in, and then once someone has been ability has been forced, or we've wasted their abilities with our shield, that's when we commit with our E and our Nemesis eventually. But Famas is doing the right thing where he's helping in the back line by forcing the supports to look at him, and then once that happens and once they commit to turning around and helping him, and you're doing damage to the Ana, you've done probably 25% of her health just by poking her. Like, that's when we walk in and try to help. But we're doing a lot of waiting, a lot of using Nemesis and backing up, using shield in a spot where we can't do anything with it. We're Nemesising again, just like, we can't walk in now. The Nemesis it's not a great one, so now we just can't walk in anymore.
Special delivery.
It's a good pulse. I mean, but we basically have nothing, no abilities to help us, and now we're forced back.
Now do you see your error?
This ends now.
What the fuck was that?
Punish them.
This ends.
Oh, Jonathan Klusenek. Oh, Jonathan Klusenek. What is this ultimate? What is the thought behind these eyes, my friend?
Tank low.
Where's the tank?
Not there.
Right, so there's nobody to even shoot. So this is a little bit of a, I'm trying to make a play because we're being, we're kind of getting shit on here a little bit. We're getting pushed so far back. I'm trying to make a play. But, I mean, they just leave. There's just, like, the Mauga's gone. We have no abilities on tank. He doesn't have his shield. I know for sure. So he's not going to have Nemesis in 2 seconds. So there's we can't push. The Ram can't push to help you. He can't make space for you. So you're basically just a sitting duck, or you're forced to play back here. If we want to go for a Sojourn play, like, we need to set up our team to do that. Like, we need to, to use that ability cycle. The Ram is super important. I know I keep talking about the Ram, but he's basically like the only person that can help you guys get in a position to win here. Like he needs to set you up on high ground over here. He needs to walk in so you can go around on the high ground back here. Maybe if you want to stay here, he needs to engage quickly, and force attention. But there's no one for you to basically shoot. And now you wasted half of it trying to walk up to kill somebody. I know you know from us kills the Briggs. You're up now.
Locking satellite vector.
We end up kind of wasting 3 ults. I mean, we used I think maybe the satellite vector could have been used, but I mean, your ult was a waste. I didn't see anything come out of Nano.
We weren't on Ayana, we were on Brig before this.
Right. Thank you.
I don't even remember if we rallied or not.
Area denied.
Check. Because that is helpful. If you did rally, I didn't notice it. No, you did not. So you swapped off with 75.
This ends now.
I really don't think it's that big of a deal to swap with that. Like if you're just the play is to obviously anti the Mauga, so I'm not really too worried about that. Bad shield. There's no one basically here to poke you, so now you don't have shield when they actually walk in.
That must sting.
Taking a shitload of time, but maybe you do have it when they come back. Here we go. You do have it because they took so long. That's an unfortunate slide. It's kind of unfortunate that like that's a fine slide, but he just like that's just terrible timing. I was wondering why you didn't slide away from this guy. Let's go back here to this this hold. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think we're really committing to the same thing. I mean, if it's clear that FAMAS and the tank want to hold this doorway, but like we're not really like doing that. Like, so like Juno's all the way back here. Anna's not in a position to like get any value out of nade or sleep or anything. Johnny, I think you should be pushed up more. I think you guys should be committed because what happens here is, he's still like he still commits to holding this. So he uses his shield. He's committed to holding this area. You know, FAMAS is still in a spot where he can flank. He's still committed to holding this area. But, I mean, Squishy Squid is not committed to holding this area, obviously, because of the position they are. Looks like you two aren't because you're backing up. So there needs to be a little bit more communication here about what we're doing. Because he's used his ability. He's used his shield. Mauga sees that. Now I'm just going right past them, and we're going for a blade commit here. We're trying to use ults to try to, you know, make something out of nothing. We trade, but alas, it's not enough. So we either have to commit to backing up and poking and then re-engaging when the Mauga goes in, or we're committing to play up here and shoot and you know nade and rail and use everything on the choke here to stop the Mauga from being able to get help. But we do neither of those, so that's why we get caught out like that. And they were able to go for that committal with the blade and the Mauga ult. Oh, Jonathan Klusenek shoots a deflecting Genji.
This ends now.
That's the same thing that you just did. That's a bad ult. Now he has to commit super far with his slide. He's not going to be able to shoot anybody. That's basically just a wasted ult. This is a tough swap here with Mauga going into this because they have both support ults. I know we have Nano, but it's going to be a tough matchup here. Nice. Just forced nade. We just forced sleep too. Nice. He's naded. This is a great start so far. Jonathan gets taken out. I would have committed on something else other than the Mauga. I know he's won, but like at all times, Mauga can survive no matter what, even if he's naded. Like I would have committed on to the Soj or the brig here because he's leaving the fight. So now I can commit onto their brig. I can commit onto their Soj with the left shift and Johnny walking on them, and they're alone. Whereas I'm walking into this spot where I'm separating myself from my team, because now I'm in their backline, and this Sojourn has a good shot on Famas, has a good shot on the supports, and there's an Ana right here that could sleep or nade you or anything. Like yeah, Famas gets killed. They have Nano obviously, and we see 9. No, we don't. Okay, but we're just not in a good spot. He gets naded. Yeah. It's just a poor committal by the tank there at the end, I would say. Any questions so far? Johnny, you've been silent. I'm assuming you know exactly what I'm talking about at all times and don't have any issues.
Ready for battle.
I actually did not watch this map beforehand, so I know they played Doomfist, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all. I just watched like 5 seconds of it. Also, is this the one where you told me that Widow was banned on this map? Was Widow banned on the other map?
Banned.
Maybe he was banned on the other map?
I'm gonna make sure I got the right code.
Because you said May was banned on the other map.
Was this?
And
Was it Face It Day 1?
I don't know.
I'm gonna send you this code instead.
It was not day 1.
It was day 2.
Yeah.
What was the one where we felt like we weren't really doing much? Like we were like push to jump to like the 3/4 in.
This,
Yeah.
like around here, say? They have 70, you have 30.
Go even more in. Like almost to the end.
Okay.
Like 2 minutes left or something.
2
Like this one, I think this is the right one where we lost, even though we were holding the lead the entire time.
I mean, you haven't had the lead the whole game, so I don't know. Oh wait, no, you have had the lead. Okay, you're the blue team.
Yeah. I think we had the lead like the whole game until right at the end, basically.
Well, I'm seeing one thing happen already, like we talked about last match. I would say, I mean, this is for you guys to answer, because like this is something that you need to work on. Like, what do we think is the communication here? Because like it doesn't look like there's any, obviously, because the tank is completely committing to the back line while every single other person is playing defensive. So like Johnny or from us, like what do we think is the call here? Like who's talking? Like who's making calls?
Tank is the one calling.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Tank is calling. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, he's just dead. Like there's nothing you can do. He's dead. So
My diagnosis of this map is every time we like turned for the Doomfist in our backline, our tank walked forward, and every time we were like ready to walk on the backline, our tank did not walk on backline.
mm-hmm.
So that was my diagnosis of this map after the game ended. But
Okay. So yeah, once again, this guy really needs to work on his ability usage. I mean, this is just shield does nothing. He just shields and walks in front of it. So there's like he's basically got nothing out of it. Then he uses his thing. He's not even close to them, so there's no even really reason to do that. He can't catch up to them at that point. And then he just he doesn't even know they're there. He just uses this around the corner. So, he's used all 3 abilities in the span of 6 seconds and gotten 0 value out of all 3 of them. While that's happening,
2 minutes remaining.
I mean, I would say it would make it would be a little bit easier if like one person was on cart and everyone else is focused on like the plan of the next fight. Like I don't think Johnny should be over here. I think it should either be Brig on cart or Tracer on cart, and Juno, Johnny, and the tank are pushed up as far as they can, trying to figure out like where they want to play for this next fight. Because I mean the cart moves the same pace no matter who's on it. So, Yeah, but I think this is the first thing that happens. So the first thing that happens is that the supports don't move past this area, even though the cart is being pushed up. So I don't. That's not very helpful because it's just gonna basically be like, hey, here's a free dive for the Doomfist Tracer into the back line. The Doom doesn't even see it, but if the Doom did see it, he would just literally just jump over Kree, go onto the back line, kill Brig with Tracer. He kind of does that basically. The fight's basically over at that point.
Ready for a knockout?
Thought of you.
Nice, we get out here.
Here goes nothing.
Untimely death. But the tank.
Bad this map.
What?
Minutes remaining.
I played really bad this map.
We can take a look at your POV here for a little bit. I just want to see what's going on here.
2 minutes remaining.
Thought of you. Here goes nothing. Barrier down.
I'm just confused on what the tank is doing, to be honest. He seems more concerned about stopping the lead, but like they have to get 20 meters to get the lead. So like you don't really have to necessarily worry about that at the moment. And he's just running towards the point. Yeah, okay. It's interesting.
Suffer as I have.
I mean, we're about to kill 3 people. And the fact that we win this fight is insane. That was a crazy win. That should have just been easy dead. But I've seen that a lot where you guys kind of survive and pull something out of your ass, so. Bad shield again.
Seconds remaining.
Please resolve your issues.
狐の鍵爪を解き放て。
Please resolve your issues.
狐の鍵爪を解き放て。
I don't know. Like I think there's like there's just always a disconnect, no matter what it is, whether it's the tank's fault or the support's fault. It's like flip flops almost every fight, but there's always a disconnect between the tanks and the support.
鍵爪を解き放て。
Like the ports are playing like Brig is bashing away over here to this corner. Like this is like we're playing so defensive. It's basically impossible to even like play the game. I mean, Brig's not even playing the game. And Johnny, you're in such a defensive position. I mean, we're playing 2 different games at this point. Like Ram's up here, Famas is up here. Juno's trying to come up to help, but like Brig and Kree are basically playing 2 different games. I mean, they're completely out of the fight. We're fighting a 3v5. Now we're forced to back up in a corner. We've basically given up the entire map for nothing.
10 seconds remaining.
We're stuck. I mean, there's basically no way getting out of here. Yeah. Just really, really, really poor positioning, and we use that. Oh. Yeah.
Team kill.
So, like, I know we talked about what we did wrong, but just quickly, we can say, like, something we could have done here.
Warning. 2-minute warning.
So, like, I don't know, like, this, I don't know why the supports are going over here. This should just be Tracer. Support should be over here by cart. We need to be setting up an angle. We should be holding shield till we get around this corner. We can shield right here. Then we have 4 people with Kree, both supports and Ram, shooting at the Kiriko, shooting at the Ashe. If they Kitsune rush, we can either commit if we have to, if we're too far in, or we can back around this corner and go over to this wall right here because it's going to end right about here. So you can try to, kite it out. But our main thing is to get to this corner and set up a shield and set up a fight to where we can deal with this Ashe, we can deal with this thing, this Kiriko. The Tracer is going to deal with the Tracer. The Doomfist is gonna come in. He's gonna come in at some point. I mean, we seem like we're so scared for him to come in. I mean, we just can't just like play super far back because we know he's gonna come in. We have to like we still have a lot of sustain. We have Brig, we have Juno. We can sustain his dive for a little bit, try to make a play out of it. But we're so afraid of him jumping in that we're basically just letting them take away the whole map. I mean, Ashe is free high ground. Kiriko's not taking any damage. Lucio's setting up. Doom's in a good spot to jump on him. Tracer's going for a pinch. We had the cart, and we just lost it like that for no reason. He commits. Now he has to back out. We're on the run now. We're not in a good spot. And that's, I mean, it's all death from there. And then we waste an ult in the last 2 seconds. This is going to be just a last-ditch effort to try to touch, I assume. John, yeah. We won't look at that too much. All right, well, let's go back to around, let's say 7:30. We can take a look at, excuse me, right before you die. That's a good thing. And we'll look at Master's POV.
At this point in the series, this is the last map. Like my brain is fried. Like I start trying to do way too much. I start blinking when I don't need to. Or I just start playing bad, basically. Like I didn't need to blink forward there. I could have just blinked backwards, or even just recalled and just like relaxed.
Yeah, like here. Yeah, I think that was perfect play. You get the pick. Yeah, and then you just back away. Just leave. You've gotten the pick. I wouldn't try to fight a McCree even if he's not in the ultimate. He's in the ultimate. I wouldn't fight him at all. Even when he's not in ultimate, he can just one-shot combo you. It's just really hard. It's really hard. So like the chance of you to win, especially against a mid Kree, is kind of like you have to just hit every shot and you'd have to miss every shot, and that's not really gonna happen. So you got a really good pick. You come back this way. Now you're helping with the Tracer. And then we have a pick on them. They don't have Lucio, and we can just kind of wait out the rush. And then once it's over, we can go in with our rally. We can go in with our Juno wall if we're keeping that up. We can look for the Kiriko. We can look for the Kree together after you leave. But I think you made a really good play, and then like you said, you tried to do a little bit too much, and you paid the price because of it.
Better player than that, and I'm really upset that I decided to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a little bit in contrast to the previous map on Lijiang where we had some problems maybe with not committing as much. So I think pushing yourself to your limits and seeing what you can get away with is not necessarily a bad thing. Like you just have to experience that before you see like, oh, I can't do that anymore. But you're pushing yourself to your limit to where you can kind of realize how much you can get away with. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's at the end of the day, it's just just one match, and it's not gonna mean too much in the long run. All right, let's go to this. I think this is sort of like a cleanup death, but we can take a look at it. Okay, yeah. So at this point, I know we're just coming to the fight, but since we use those blinks right away, I'm a little bit more hesitant to come to the fight, especially since someone just died. So I need Tracer has the ability to sort of like survey what's going on before she can go in, because she has so much movement. She doesn't have to commit immediately. She can sort of survey what's going on. All right, our Kree just died. There's their Tracer. Let me try to poke her out for a second. If she commits, I can blink into her. But I only have one blink, so I don't want to really push myself too far to where I'm just going to be caught in the open. So you do only have one blink left. You do have recall, but you still have one blink, yeah. And it's just kind of, you're caught out because of that. But it was cleanup, so I'm not really going to be like, oh, you did something really wrong there. Probably wouldn't have recalled there. I bet you could have gotten out. You know, if I see that happening, as soon as I see this, I'm just turning to my left and blinking and trying to get out because I'm not going to win a 2v1 against a Lucio and a Tracer. I'm not going to win a 2v1 against any combo of characters really as Tracer. So I'm getting out immediately, and like that's fine. Like you've made a fine play. Like you've forced their Lucio to help the Tracer. He's out of the fight. You know, that gives a little bit more, you know, room for your team to walk in. You know, you don't have to worry about boops off the high ground. They don't have to worry about them speeding away or speeding in. You're giving a little bit more room. Like they're fighting their 4v3 now because you're taking away this attention. I did that. I'm leaving, going back into the fight. I can come back in with all my blinks, all my health, my recall, and we can look for another play. But now you're kind of like, you know, you used your recall, you have no blinks. Now you're like, what do I do now? You know what I mean? Like, what do I do at this point? But your team comes in clutch and uses that ult and gets a good play out of it. I think over time this will
Sure.
be a little bit better. I would say, like, this is the point where they shouldn't just be this far back. They should be up here. So I'm not really gonna say take too much out of this, but a lot of times I would say, like, so say for instance, like we'll do a hypothetical scenario where you guys fix this mistake. So you know, Ram's right here. The supports are right here. So supports. And Doomfist does the kind of the similar thing where he comes right here. I'm doing one of two things. I'm either committing on the Tracer or I'm committing with my Ram. I wouldn't go for the Doomfist because he's similar to Ball, to where like so much has to go right for you to actually kill him, or it's like it's not worth the trade of you putting all your attention on him to try to get that outcome, because the chance that you kill him is so low. I either want to commit with my team and my tank to trade, or I want to commit to peel on the Tracer to force her out to where the supports can kill the Doomfist by themselves, or Kree can help kill the Doomfist. They are fighting a 3v1, but shooting the Doomfist, especially when he's blocking, is just kind of like doing nothing. It's basically like you're doing nothing. So that will come in time, especially when you guys are just a little bit more in tune with each other, where I know I have to commit with my tank, or I know I have to commit to the Tracer. I'm doing one of those two things, and either of them could yield good results, but this result wouldn't do much just because he's just stalling time, taking damage, blocking. There's not much you can really do to him. I think you've realized that here. You go for the Tracer, but at that point, the tank is dead, and there's no way you win that fight. At this point, I would be trying to get out. You're down your tank. You're down your McCree. Even if you are super mobile, if you die, it just breaks everything up for you. Especially, it breaks your rhythm because you have to retake the fight on their ground. Like right now, you kind of own this area, even though they're pushing you. Like you have the ability. They have to come into you. If you stay and die, then you have to come back in here, you know, when they're about to take the cart, and you can't really set yourself up in a good spot. So I would say, you know, Juno might be dead here. I wouldn't really commit to try to help her. I would just get out, reset, get ready for the next fight, you know, make scouting calls, you know, pinging people, here's where they are, and looking to what we can do next. But we're committing a little bit too much.
I didn't
And that's-
just leave.
And at that point, you're dead.
You must prevent them from overtaking us.
Yeah. I 100% like fundamentally understand everything you just said. Just like at this point in the game, I just like was not thinking anymore.
I get it. Trust me. I mean, once again, like, I don't know if it's just them being bad or you guys like being able to just take something out of nothing and turn it into a good play, but you end up winning that fight, which is insane. So we'll go over this last fight one more time here because you do have the lead with 40 seconds left. They have 2 ults, you have none, but you have the advantage here with the lead.
30 seconds remaining.
So at this point, I would be, because of the scenario we're in, we're up, you have the lead, you have good spawn, there's 30 seconds left, I would be playing to just sort of stall time on point. So I would be playing to set up in this area, set my supports up in a good spot, set my tank up in a good spot, set my everybody up in a good spot, tracers on the right helping their tracer, where I'm just trying to stall time. If I lose this fight, yes, maybe they commit 2 ults and win, but they have to come into our territory with no ults when we have the lead and we have the high ground. And it's going to be much bigger of an advantage for you, especially since both your support ults are at 70. You can roughly assume you might have at least one by the time that happens. So I'm looking to, I don't need to commit here to pushing this because I don't have I don't have to sort of do that because there's only 30 seconds left and you're trying to stall time because you have the lead. If I didn't have the lead, I would be doing that. I would be committing to this. But since you have the lead, you can sort of commit to just sort of stalling time. But like the same thing happened last time. We're not really setting up. We're playing all in one little spot. We're giving the entire team free reign. I need to be setting up on angles to where we can deal with everything they put at us. Like if my Kree and my supports are over here, I can see everything. We can back up here if we need to. I know my tracer's on the right dealing with their tracer. My Ram is on cart holding the choke, getting damp healing from both my healers. You know, he can stall time with both his abilities. Ashe isn't being able to do anything because she's all the way back here. She has to drop. Now she's in a spot where you can kill her. But we're playing, I mean, like, I think this might be the same fight I just looked at, like, when I first talked about this, but, like, so far back, we're just allowing them to take so much space. They take cart for free. Now we're playing backpedal defense, and everyone's dead. Yeah, this is where Kree dies, and Brig dies, and, we use that. We should have saved that. That could have helped us win that fight, this next fight, for sure. But yeah, we saw what happened before, so we just had to touch. But unfortunate. But I mean, the good thing is that there's not a lot of like different problems that are happening. It's sort of just the same thing over and over again, where it's just like the disconnect between the tanks and the supports, and like underlying sort of positioning issues. So like that's something that can sort of be fixed, not right away, but like it's something that you can sort of try right away to fix, where you can sort of, all right, let's instead of just sitting here, let's look to stand right here. It's simply just standing in a different spot, you know, and you'll get the feel of it at some point on like where exactly to do when you're there and stuff like that, and you know how to leave once you're being pushed on. But thankfully it's not something egregious like really bad, you know, mechanics issues or really bad mental issues or something like that people are having where they're getting really upset right away and it's being bad for the team. But I mean, yeah, any questions, Johnny, or from us? I mean, Johnny's been really quiet, so like I said before, I assume he just understands everything and is just on top of this, and he's gonna be way better next time. Okay. All right. Well, I'll stop the recording. Hold on. Let me stop the recording.